Peace, love, discipline, respect, solidarity. Welcome to another AGM Perspective, where we discuss real issues in real time. Today's topic is Grandmaster J, the Enigma. What is an enigma? Enigma is a puzzle, a mystery. And it seems like everybody's asking, why is Grandmaster J so hated? And I want to come today and answer that question in my perspective. To me, the brother raised the stakes. When it comes to other black leaders, they fall short right now. The brother raised the stakes. Like he said, no more marching, no more sit-ins, no more praying, and no more protests. By saying that, he renders a lot of these leaders today ineffective, because brothers been doing the same thing for so long, so many years, and getting little or no results. So there's time for change. It's time to do something different. Doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. And we're not insane today. We're cognizant today. We know what we want today. And what we don't want is some of the same old, same old. That's what we don't want. NFAC promotes black power, which equates to self-empowerment, doing for self. You know what I mean? So unity and independence from the social engineering which poison us each and every day, through the medical, through the agriculture, through the mental, education, and judicial, and much more. So when we say black power, we're proclaiming our independence away from that death style, that defeatist way of thinking, breaking away from the system which suppress us and oppress us. So we declare our independence every time we say black power. And NFAC moves with power. NFAC, well-regulated militia, speaks to power, through power. Power only recognizes power. A lot of our leaders go to power on their knees, begging and pleading for change. But we understand today that the opposition does not want change. They do not want change for us, because to institute change for the black community on a whole is to relinquish their power. So it's incumbent for them to keep their boots on our necks. And that's what they'll do. That's why they change the laws as they please. Every time they lose advantage, they seek to get that advantage back by changing the law. How can you win like that? How can we get equality like that? We can't. And we can never expect to. Therefore, if we don't, or if we're not ready to change the game, then we'll still be in the same position that we are 50 years from now. Things will never change. everything will remain the same. That's why our own people, fight so hard against NFAC, because some of our people don't even realize that they slaves. And when I say slaves, I mean mental slaves to the system that they fall under. So a lot of them don't see nothing wrong with the system. So they don't profit for change. They don't stand behind NFAC, an organization that brings change. They'd rather stay with the status quo and exist the best way they can. Me, I'd rather prepare my own table than be at somebody's table waiting for crumbs. And I'm sure you think the same way. So today, we have leaders, supposed to be conscious leaders, speaking against NFAC and the Grandmaster Jay. Speaking instead of riding with this brother who's trying to bring change for all of us, not just some of us. And then you have the white supremacists on the other hand. Like I said, they hate this brother because this brother brings about a deterrence against their free reign of terror and anarchy, which they've been doing for years. So NFAC is a buffer between white supremacy and the black people. They are the ones to answer to that white supremacists must respect. You see? They don't have that free access to just terrorize people because they have the weapons and they have the numbers and they come into your communities and do what they want to do like the good old days. Nah, that's out. And a lot of them is empowered by these police departments, these racist police departments that deputize these people to inflict terror and mayhem on the masses that's protesting. So it's like a two-headed sword. The game is stacked against us, so why play their game? We have to reinvent our own game. We have to reinvent our own rules of engagement. We can't keep playing their game. If we keep playing their game, we will always lose because the game is not written. The rules are not designed for us to win. That's why you have a lot of these states that want to disarm and infringe on people's Second Amendment rights. People have the right to arm themselves and to stand up in the face of tyranny. But you have certain people that want to remove that right because of things like, or people or organizations like NFAC that stand up for the oppressed, that stand up for the disenfranchised. So the powers that be will fight hard to try to remove that or strip that constitutional right. You understand me? They're prepared to go against their own constitution just so that they could disarm people that they want disarmed. But there's a catch-22 to that. If they disarm or try to disarm black people, they have to disarm white people as well. You understand me? That's why it's a slippery slope. They can't just do what they want to do. You understand me? So they're ensnared in their own trap, so to speak. They're ensnared in their own trap. So we got the conscious community that's fighting against the Grand Master, and you got the white supremacists on the other hand fighting against the Grand Master and NFAC. You understand me? So this brother's catching it from both ways. You know, he's catching it from both ways. You got these Negroes, these ineffective Negroes, leaders, that because of their own, they're not even looking at the best interest of the people. They're looking at self-interest. They're looking at their own image. You understand me? And the people have to wise up today too. If you see a leader's ineffective, let him step to the side. Let him step. It's your choice to follow who you want to follow. Don't let people tell you who to follow. It's up to you to use your own common sense to see who's on the scene today and listen to that person and the change that they promise to bring and their modus operandi of getting that change. How are they going to get to that change? How are they going to get to that goal? That's what you need to listen to. A lot of people come on the scene today and don't have a plan. Have you been really listening to the Grand Master? Did he tell you that people can't get reparations, that they give reparations to countries? How many people have told you about that so far? How many leaders have brought that to your attention? How many leaders have brought up the topic of an ethno state? Have you been paying attention? So, and then we have those, the demographic, that just hate, just to be hating. The ones that is so bogged down with social engineering that anything that's good for them, they reject, but embrace everything that's negative. We're in a bad state today, people. And I could tell you, from my perspective, that the WS is not our worst problem. We are our worst problem. We are our worst problem. When we get our things together, when we get our lives together, when we organize and become unified in one thought, one mind, one body, we'll be unstoppable. We'll get everything that we strive for, everything that we dream of. The power is within us. The power is in our hands. But if we don't know that, then we expect the help to come from outside ourselves. Know thyself, people. Know thyself. NFAC is not the enemy. NFAC might very well be the answer. Don't be afraid of change, because change is something that you cannot stop. You cannot stop. Peace, love, solidarity, respect, and black power, people. AGM perspective.